Iran is reportedly engaged in quiet negotiations with Oman over a controversial proposal to introduce a charging system for vessels passing through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most strategically significant maritime routes in the world. According to the reports, the idea under discussion is not a straightforward toll on passage, but rather a service-free mechanism that would apply to ships transiting the waterway. Well, under the emerging concept, Oman could receive a share of the revenue, reflecting its geographic proximity and potential role in facilitating the system. Although discussions have taken place, no agreement has been finalized and the plan remains in an early and uncertain stage. The talks come amid heightened geopolitical tensions in the region following military strikes on Iran earlier this year, after which Iranian actions reportedly disrupted commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. And that disruption briefly slowed maritime traffic and contributed to a spike in global energy prices, underscoring how critical the strait is to international trade. And nearly one-fifth of the world's seaborne oil and natural gas passes through this narrow choke point, making it one of the most sensitive arteries in the global economy. And since then, Iran has moved to formalize its influence over the waterway. It has also created a new maritime authority that claims to regulate navigation in a defined management supervision area, which reportedly extends into the Gulf of Oman, through which vessels must pass before entering the strait. Iranian state-linked media have also suggested that a structured mechanism is being developed in order to control traffic and impose charges for what Tehran describes as specialized services. And all these may include environmental protection, navigation assistance, or other maritime support functions. And the legal framing of this proposal is central to the controversy. And under international maritime law, especially widely accepted principles associated with the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, ships have the right to transit international straits without obstruction. A direct toll on passage would therefore be widely viewed as illegal. However, Iran is attempting to structure the system as service-based fees rather than a transit charge. Legal experts quoted in reports have noted that while certain reasonable service fees are permitted under international norms, any system that effectively functions as payment for passage could still violate customary international law if challenged. And the United States has strongly opposed the proposal. President Donald Trump has publicly stated that the strait must remain free for international navigation, emphasizing that it is not a space where tolls or fees should exist. He described it as an international waterway and insisted that access must remain unrestricted. Similarly, Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned that introducing any form of mandatory payment would be unacceptable and could jeopardize broader diplomatic efforts between Washington and Tehran. The US position is that freedom of navigation through the strait is non-negotiable and essential to global economic stability. While at the same time, Oman has emerged as a potentially significant partner in the discussions. Initially cautious about the idea, it is now reportedly more open to exploring a revenue-sharing arrangement with Iran. Omani officials are said to see potential economic benefits in facilitating or participating in a structured fee system, and may also use its diplomatic relationships with Gulf countries and the United States to influence how the proposal develops. And despite all these discussions, significant uncertainty remains, and the plan has not been formalized and it is unclear whether it will ever be implemented in practice. However, the very fact that such negotiations are taking place highlights that how Iran's broader strategy of leveraging its geographic position over a critical global choke point in order to gain economic advantage, while also increasing its strategic influence. But for the United States and its allies, any move to monetize passage through the Strait of Hormuz is seen as a direct challenge to long-established principles of free maritime navigation, setting the stage for further diplomatic friction in an already tense region. That's all for now. Stay tuned to the Savera for more updates. Do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.